have enjoyed you so much. I hope you enjoy me as much as I have enjoyed you. I think the guy band is awesome. I think you should give them a hand. I think we got a cord pulling right there. You may not want that to happen. Yeah. Aren't they sweet? I'm working them.
Make sure the monitors work.
Thank the gentleman in the back. And the ladies on the side. And I understand that we are joined by more people this evening who could not be here last night, who are working. Welcome. We're glad you're here. You know, I always like to make sure that what I say or what I do is appropriate for the occasion. There's a ringing in my ears. That's, you want the diva position, don't you? Can do. Please edit that out. No, don't. And I was thinking about what can I give you? Because Sunday is Mother's Day in our church in Ohio. We call it Women's Day because there are many young women, among whom is my daughter, 21 years old, who are not married. And then there are some older women in our congregation in their 80s who never marry, two little sisters who live side by side. Oh, they're so funny. They're Eastern European. And in Arkansas, where I came from 6 years ago, we don't have a lot of Eastern European people. So these are my first. And it's fascinating to be with them. I'm learning a whole new culture. I know they eat bratwurst. And sauerkraut. And what's the deal with the noodles over the mashed potatoes already? It's like too much starch for me. But it's home now, it's home. This is where I live now. I started on the West Coast and moved into Arkansas, which was the home of my parents, and then met my husband there. This was from a young woman who avowed that she would never marry. I said, I shall never marry. I cannot find a man who shares my interests. And that year, you know how that goes. Oh, well. Am I doing it again? I'm going to work you back there. And so, as I have been privileged to travel and see the Lord's big family, I think you're probably a lot harder on yourselves than I would be. I find much to admire as I travel among you. First of all, the fact that many of you chose to be here when I know that you had other things you could do, like laundry. I'm glad that I was competing with your laundry and I won. Dishes, I know the truth. It wouldn't have mattered who was up here. You were coming to women's conference. I know this. I get that. But as I travel, I watch at the diversity and the uniqueness and the beauty, the sincerity, the raw passion, the power, the longing, the faithfulness. Oh, you're so beautiful from my perspective. And so I pondered nobody is as funny as Donna Linville. Nobody. She is so cute. I'd like to pinch her. And she's a delight. She's like a present. Every time I'm with her, I'm chuckling again. And it's real. She's so sincere and so lovely and sweet. And I relive her life with her every time she tells it. It's in the South, what we're doing here would be equivalent to sitting on the front porch and drinking sweet tea. I hope the guy band didn't leave. You have just enough time to go to the bathroom and get a drink. That's it, guys. And then I wondered, because I've been raised in church all my life where you're always reaching this way, always more. And then I realized while I'm doing all this, which is awesome, I'm with you. And so I'm all out there, but then I open my eyes and there you are, and I'm curious. And I'm thinking, so this is your body. Wow. I'm kind of fascinated. Look at that hairdo. Whew. Isn't that just awesome? Isn't she cute? Oh, she's lovely. How sweet. I saw that. And I watch you mix and mingle and love and fight and forgive and get mad and withdraw and come back. You're lovely. You're like a flash of a rainbow through a cloud. You can be as fearsome as lightning and as tender as dew on the grass. You're amazing. You remind me of your dad. And so I said, what can I give you? What could I do for you in honor of who you are? How lovely, his bride, his lady. So I thought, if I had a big old brooch, I'd have stuck it right here. Because I think I'm going to be your Mother's Day gift. So if you will let me serve you, you've danced and shouted and worked. I would like to be your spa for the soul for just a few minutes and refresh you and bring you warm water. I had a visual image of my children at the end of the day. Sometimes I made a terrible mistake and waited too late to give them that bath. Oh boy, it was like kicking and screaming. And I wouldn't say anything or just run warm water. Test it with my hand. They were so tired and so angry, so irritable, so dirty, so stinky. It was like, come hell or high water, you're going into the tub because you stink. I love you. You smell rotten, like wet dog. And I would begin washing, maybe singing. Oh, they're flailing and kicking and throwing one, you know. You don't spank a child when they're weary. You just love them. And the warm water, and I would begin to massage little arms and legs and little feet. There's something about feet. They bear the weight of the entire body. And there's something so refreshing when someone takes your foot in their hand. I'm not surprised that Jesus said, you're going to be offended. Let me wash your feet. Because of all the things you could do for someone that would mean the most, the part of the body that takes the greatest pounding is often hidden, not revered, and often maligned, is your feet. Now, I would take my daughter's feet and massage those little feet in between each toe. just to make sure. And then out of the water and into a warm towel. And then the lotion. And by the time I got to the lotion, from head to foot, anoint my head with oil. The flailing stopped, the fighting, and a glorious and sweet peace and quiet came over. And they began to enjoy the ministry of their mother's hands. Then into pajamas, and finally to rest. Oh, I thought this evening, if I could adorn myself for our Prince and could prepare you perfume, fragrance, something sweet. So if you expected something else, I apologize. But somehow it seems appropriate that I should do this for you this evening. A rose for a rose. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright, blessed day, the dark, sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of the people I pass by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear your babies cry. You watch them grow. They're gonna learn much more than we'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on your faces as I pass by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, hi, y'all. They're really saying, I want to go to heaven with you. I hear babies cry. My two are grown. They're gonna learn much more than I'll ever know. And I say, thank you, Lord, for this wonderful world. You are so beautiful to me. You are so very beautiful to me. Can't you see? You're everything I hope for. Everything I knew you'd be. Don't be so hard on yourself. Beautiful. You're more wonderful than your mind can conceive. More wonderful than your heart can believe. You go beyond his highest hopes and fondest dreams. You're everything that he bled and died for. Everything he loved and hoped and cried for. You're worth more than all of the children he would have had he taken a wife in Judea and married. He saw you in his future and the kindness that he wishes to breathe on you. The loveliness. We work so hard to please him, and it would be so simple if we just let him love us. I think sometimes it's so very easy to push him away and say, oh, not me. I feel that he's just as light as a touch here. Would you close your eyes a moment? Perhaps you've never felt anything quite so fair. He's very gentle. You've danced and shouted You've raised your voices. He's gentle and tender. Will you let him love you instead of always resisting and telling him why you cannot and what you cannot? In this moment, he said you are complete in him, which means you don't have to feel the absence of anything right now. You are so beautiful to him. Amazing grace shall always be my song of praise, for it was grace that bought my liberty. I do not know just why he came to love me so. He looked beyond my fault and saw my need of such amazing grace. I'm so unworthy, for if deserved, it could not mercy be. His cleansing blood, oh yes, has bathed my sinful soul, so he could look beyond my fault and see my need. I shall forever lift mine eyes to Calvary, to view the cross where this precious man died for me. How marvelous the grace that loved this fallen soul. Sometimes you feel like an ugly duckling, and then a prince comes along and takes your hand on the dance floor of life and asks you to waltz with him. A lot of women don't know how to accept love. Now they can sing and dance and they can cook a meal. But when he begins wooing, they feel uncomfortable because they're not comfortable in their own skin. And it's hard to believe that someone so beautiful would want to put his arms around. Have you ever seen a handsome man and a plain woman? Many times women will say things like, what did he see in her? Well, we won the prince. And he would love, instead of making our relationship with him work, he would like us to be his garden and tend us instead of him being tended by us. I guess one of the sweetest things is to know that if I just let him, he'll make something lovely in me. He will repeat himself. He will replicate himself in me. His sweetness is here. I wish I could ask you to dim these lights. I feel like you are due for a treatment, a beauty treatment, beauty for ashes. I think sometimes we serve him as if he requires effort. We make work of love. When I was readying myself this evening, I had a visual image of a handsome. I saw him handsome. I didn't see his face, but it seemed to me that he extended his hand to me and said, "Come dance with me, Jan." And I'd just gotten a phone call that was kind of heartbreaking. I thought about the times my own husband walks into the kitchen when I'm working. Is very hard to be loving when you're working. You can't be in two frames of mind, especially if you feel stressed. Come up behind me and want to hug me. Stiffen, I'm busy. But the truth of the matter is, why have a home and a laundry basket and clothes to iron and fold if there's no love there? None of it makes sense. I want to lay down the have-tos in this relationship. And for one night, it would be nice just to let him do what he would like. I have a feeling he would like to soothe some of the calloused places in us. Say, well, how do you know this? Because I will tell you the way we treat ourselves is a reflection of how we've let him treat us. You're lovely. No, I'm not. I need to exercise more. I need to lose more weight. I need to. You're lovely. No, really. Can you just... I remember when I realized that he's not comparing me to everyone else, and he's not really nearly as interested in my physical self as how I adorn my inward self. My attitude reverberates to him. And one scripture that has moved me for a very long time, and you will forgive me because I cannot preach at you right now. I couldn't last night, I cannot now. I feel like that I am a little tiny servant sent to serve a beautiful bride who is getting ready for a wedding, and it's my responsibility to reach the places you are not aware of. You can't see the back of your head, but I can. And I feel like I'm finishing touches on you to make sure your dress is adjusted. I have come to serve you, and I have to ask you, Are you happy? Don't answer me. Are you happy with your life the way it is now? Are you thankful? Or have you been robbed of the blessed, blissful state of it is well between me and my groom because you don't live in a big house, or maybe you don't own your home, or because of your children? Or Habakkuk said, I'm learning these things. I'm learning that I can be as queenly as I long to be, that I can always present a face to him. It doesn't mean that I'm not going through things, but it will not change my love nor my posture to him. Every day I will arise and be lovely for him. This is what he longs for. And if you're worn down by worry and anxiety and anger and bitterness because of what life has dealt you, then you have missed the love affair of a lifetime. And what is sad is you will be equally hard on your own precious family. Your husband will never satisfy you. Your children will never be talented enough, pretty enough. And unfortunately, you won't appreciate your church either. It won't be modern enough, and the music won't be fine enough. And you know where it started? Wash me, love me. Habakkuk said, though the olive tree fail and there's no fruit in the vine, there's no herd in the stalls, nothing in the field. He painted a complete abysmal picture of life stripped of all the things that make people like me rejoice. Flowers, harvest, beautiful things, lovely things. He stripped them bare and he said, if all of this is taken from me, yet will I rejoice in the Lord. I guess all my life I've been waiting for permission to be lovely, just waiting for things to be just right. I've decided it will never happen. It's a choice I make to adorn myself. With something sweet. I started thinking about all the good things he's done for me right in the middle of sorrow. And somehow I can't be sad. And then I realized how many torches I've carried for people who probably didn't care, didn't even know. I've carried their issue with me all my life. No more. There is a scripture in Numbers that the Lord gave to me many years ago because I recognized myself in Jacob before he became Israel. I wanted what someone else carelessly threw away. I wanted it. I thought if you'd have just given that to me, I'd have taken it. But I wasn't the firstborn. I'm not talking literally. I'm talking about people who appear to have the world on a string, and it means nothing to them. And the rest of us work very hard for everything we get. Jacob was a sneak and a cheat, a manipulator. He was a flatterer. He would do whatever he had to do to get what he wanted. You know why? Because he was empty. I look at his life and I look at Daniel living in captivity. Daniel, I never read that Daniel had a wife or sons or daughters. There were no children to proclaim, I'm Daniel's child. When he was 17, he went into captivity. His parents did not make the journey. I can't imagine sending my children into a foreign land at 17 in shackles. And yet somehow, at 17, he said, one day in your court, I need no meat, just you. He grew old in that land of captivity and never went home. Every time I read him, I weep because he was lovely 3 times a day. He remembered, I am not Belteshazzar, my name is Daniel. He attired himself appropriate to his culture, and he learned their language, bowed his head to their customs, and lived according to their laws. And 3 times a day, not 3 times a week, he bowed himself to an open window and let his soul go free. Because in the land of captivity, if you don't, you can become calloused and hard. Even service can make you angry. Somehow I don't think that's what he meant. I have to stop and sing a song for you for a minute. You might as well not look at me. This is for you. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, is a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. This world is not my home, I'm just a passing through. Somewhere over the rainbow waits for me. Everything that I've longed, I've hoped for in my deepest dreams, where I won't toil for love I need and breathe the air that God will give, He'll find me lovely and loving Him. I will never fear again. I long to abide beside Him. Somewhere over the rainbow when my life is through, I'll rest in His arms. His love is true. And in trying to remain a captive and still sweet, Daniel pushed his plate away for 3 weeks in mourning. Still prayed 3 times a day. That's the struggle I have, trying to stay sweet. I feel like Cinderella after the ball. I have to go back home but I have a shoe. I have a ring. And when the world continues to treat me like a scullery maid, and I resist the urge to buy into, you are a victim, you're not worthy, you're ugly, you're lowly, whatever else is being told me about myself, I slip away and open the window. And He walks with me and He talks with me, and He tells me I am His own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. I come to the garden low, while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God discloses, and he walks with me, and he talks with me. And Daniel, one day, in between waiting, working, and weeping, heard a voice. And it was, "Oh, Daniel." I love that "oh." When I traveled across the globe on a trip one time, I left my 3-year-old home. In the days when people could wait for you at the gate, and as I neared the tarmac at the gate, my heart began to quicken, my hands broke into a sweat. I know what that "oh" was, longing. Oh. I wonder if you have ever felt the Lord say, "Oh," over you. I couldn't wait. My mother had stood her in a chair. She was little. She was searching for my face and I for hers. And when she saw me, she burst into tears. And I wept. Oh. And the angel said, "Oh, Daniel, greatly beloved." Would you close your eyes for a minute? I'm doing my best to represent someone who has no physical representation right now. But I think he would love to say that to you. Oh, Daniel, greatly beloved. We demand so much of ourselves that I'd like you to put your hand on your heart, if you would. And I wish I could send an angel to you. Unfortunately, you're going to have to be the voice. I want you to say, "Oh." Now call your name. Now say, "Greatly beloved." Now would you say it all together? "Oh, your name," and then say, "Greatly beloved." And his word was, "Fear not." Why didn't he give some great pronouncement of prophecy? Because even a man in a foreign land feels lonely and afraid. There was no family to comfort him. How much more so would you when you are surrounded by so many things? It makes you wonder, does he know where you are? I came to tell you, yes. He already knows. Fear not, It's okay, you're being washed. Oh, how He loves you and me. Oh, how He loves you and me. Let Him give you a rose. He gave His life. Perhaps He wants to just hold you for a moment. Will you let Him? What more could He give? Oh, how He loves you. Oh, how He loves me. Oh, how He loves you. And He walks with me, and He talks with me, and He tells me I am His own, and the joy that we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. Daniel was so weak from fasting and fear that he bowed his head and could not say a single word. He didn't know how to respond to such a message from heaven, where there are beasts and elders and thunders and lightnings, sending an angel saying, "Oh, greatly beloved, fear not." He said, "I don't know what to say, for I have no strength." I will be honest with you, brutally honest. My life is very wearying sometimes. I'm so tired, I have no strength. And the demands just keep coming. Long after I've given the last thing, there's always one more thing left, and I'm spent. Daniel felt that way too, and the angel touched his lips. That's so kind to me, so kind. Why? Because Daniel didn't know what to say. So the angel took his own hand and touched his mouth and said, "Be strong." Now I want you to close your eyes. Again. The Lord wishes to touch you again, if you will let Him. I don't know who you are, but I give to you what He has given me. Thank you so much. I want you to touch your own lips with your hand, and under your hand, I want you to say, "Be strong." You need to be encouraged, not by your own might, but by heaven's own sweet hand. You're lovely, you need strength. The angel could go no further than that little man's ability to be strong. I am flesh and bone, and I give out at the end of the day. I'm not superhuman. I'm tired and spent. And then the last thing he said, and I want you to put your hand on your heart again. He said, peace. The question is, knowing what I know and going through what I'm going through, can I still dress for His majesty in His peace? I want my answer to be yes. I'm so tired of not being peaceful. I would love to be that lovely lady that I see in His eyes. So I want you to close yours. And whatever it is that has been troubling you and keeping you awake and making you angry and mean and harsh, lay your hand on your heart and say the words the angel said to Daniel. Peace. Peace. I feel the touch of hands so warm and tender. They're leading me in paths that I must trod. I'll have no fear, for Jesus walks beside me. For I'm sheltered in the arms of God. So let the storms rage high, the dark clouds rise, they don't worry me, for I'm sheltered safe within the arms of God. He walks with me, and not a fur can harm me. I'm sheltered in. 'Tis so sweet to trust in Jesus, just to take Him at His word, just to rest upon His promise, just to know thus saith the Lord. Jesus, Jesus, how I trust you, how I prove you all adore. Jesus, Jesus, precious precious name. Oh, how sweet, hope of earth and joy of heaven, precious name. Oh, how sweet, hope of earth and joy of heaven. The room grew still as she made her way to Jesus. She stumbled through the tears that made her blind. She felt such shame, saw unspoken anger, heard folks whisper, there's no place here for her kind. Still on she came, through the shame that flushed her face, until at last she knelt before his feet. And though she spoke no word, everything she said was heard, as she poured her love for the Master from her box of alabaster. I've come to pour my praise on you like oil from Mary's alabaster box. Please don't be angry if I wash your feet with my tears, and I dry them with my hair. You weren't there the night he found me. He washed my feet, my hands, my head. In his love he bound me. And now I come to do for you what he's done for me. What he's done for me is so amazing. The love he has for me, I cannot explain. All I know is I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see, and I know he'll do forget the way my life used to be. I was a prisoner to the sin that had me bound. I spent my days, God knows I poured my life without measure into a little treasure box I thought I'd found. Until the day when Jesus came to me and he healed my soul with the wonder of his touch. I'm giving back to him the praise he's worthy of. I love you because he loved me so much. come let us adore him. Oh, come let us adore him. Oh, come let us adore him. Christ the Lord. Oh, come let us adore him. Oh, come. For he alone peace, peace, wonderful peace, coming down from the Father above. Sweep over my spirit forever, I pray. In fathomless billows of love. Jesús, te amamos. Jesús, te adoramos. Jesús, te adoramos. Sí, Salvador. His presence, and I knew this was a place where love abounds. For this is a temple. We are your temple. Jehovah God, abide here. We are standing in white raiment, adorned and waiting on holy ground. The angels cry, holy. The angels cry, holy. The angels cry, holy, to the Lord. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Moses and the Lamb. We are overcomers by the blood of Him who called us. Hallelujah! Give a shout to the Lord. Yay! Our God reigns. Hallelujah! Moshataya! Hallelujah. 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 Holy. 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 Hallelujah. Shalalalamasana. Hallelujah. Take someone by the hand. This is His body. The hand you hold. You must not judge the worth. You must not look and say, this cannot be His body. He has a humble body. He said, I am meek and lowly. And until He comes, the only Jesus you are going to see and touch is what you're holding on to now. The love and regard He has poured on us this evening is what He longs for us to pour on one another. Freely, without qualifying or numbering, without asking, are you deserving? For not one of us deserve what has happened to us this evening. So we are free to love as He loved us. And now I will leave you with the last word He has given me to give to you. It is my pleasure to say these words over you, for I know of a certainty that He has already done them and will continue to. I say these things in your presence as if I were talking about you while you're in the room. I'm letting you listen. I'm letting you eavesdrop. Because He told us if we would say these words, if we would invoke His name, He would do the words He told us to say. It's amazing to me. It is the first spoken blessing. And what it does, instead of demanding that you do something for Him, it demands that He do something for you. And He told me to say this over you. So I'm going to do exactly what the old priests would have done. And they would stretch their hands like this, representing the commandments. I've never done it before in my life, but somehow it seems appropriate. That I, a Gentile woman of no family, no lineage, nothing but love for a great King who stopped by and raised me from my rags, should be privileged to say these words in His name. Now may the Lord bless and keep you. Now may the Lord make His face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Now may the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. And he said, they shall put my name in Jesus' name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless. You are blessed. You are blessed to be a blessing. You may freely give what you have received to anyone you choose to give it to, just like your Heavenly Father gave it to you. Embrace one another and celebrate, for this is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. It's time to sing, to dance, to laugh, to heal, to give. This is the day that the Lord hath made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is the day that the Lord hath made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. This is jumping shoes on. Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go. I'm gonna jump, jump away. That's burning it. I'm gonna I will jump. I will jump through the courts. I will jump. I will jump through the courts. I will jump and not grow. I will jump and not grow weary. I will. Here we go. I'm gonna clap, clap away. I'm gonna